begin, dim the lights, shut the door, and make sure that no one and nothing is standing behind you. Welcome to another meeting of the Spooky Friends Club. Tonight's topic is not just something whispered in basements or at slumber parties. It's summoned. A board, a planchette, a question asked in the dark. Is anyone there? And sometimes the answer is yes. The Ouija board is sold beside other games, and yet it is said that it can summon the dead. Ancient Chinese and Roman civilizations both used talking boards to commune with the dead. But it wasn't until the 19th century that gave birth to what we now recognize as the Ouija board. In gaslit parlors, grieving families begged for messages from the other side. They didn't want to believe. They needed to. Then came 1890, where Elijah Bond patented the board. The letters, numbers, yes, no, and goodbye, along with the planchette, that allegedly moved on its own. It was supposed to be a novelty, but something really interesting happened. The board named itself Ouija. Ouija. It actually came from the board. Now, historians will say that it's a mixture of a French and a German word for yes, but supposedly the board said that it meant good luck. Others think that it's a signature, not a translation of words, but a presence. By the 1910s and 1920s, it was everywhere. Lovers flirted over it, and families mourned through it. But it was then that the answers started to get darker. Names of the dead, secrets that had never been spoken aloud, planchettes flying across the table. By the 1970s, the Ouija board had gone from a simple toy to a holy terror. The Exorcist made it iconic.
Hey, where'd this come from? I found it. Where? Closet. You've been playing with it? Yep. You know how? I'll show you. I do it all the time. Oh, yeah? Well, let's both play with it.
Regan talking to Captain Howdy, he didn't just take her mind, but he took her body and soul. Captain Howdy was never just a spirit. He was a full-on possession. And then suddenly the world understood that this is not a game, it is a ritual. Looking at it from a science perspective, scientists will say that this is just the ideomotor effect, that you're subconsciously moving the board, involuntary muscle movements, or a psychological trick. But what if no one's touching the board when it moves? What if it reacts to questions that haven't even been asked? And how does it know things before they happen? There are stories, and many of them, where the board slides off or burns or something crazy, right? Somewhere with this board, paranoia blooms and dreams become nightmares. Sure, science can explain the motion, the ideomotor effect, but it cannot always explain what comes after. There is some folklore on the internet, like the never say goodbye curse. A group of 4 friends rent a cabin in the woods. They buy an Ouija board at a thrift store, and for fun, they start playing with it. It's all fun and games until the board says don't leave when they try to stop using it, and they just throw it into a closet. But that night, 2 of the girls experience hauntings, one scratched on the back and the other sees wet footprints in the kitchen. When they pull out the Ouija board again to sort of calm down the spirit, one whispers, "Why don't you leave us alone?" And the board says, "Too late." Another story is in a cemetery. A spirit named Danny, a little boy, lost, alone, afraid. Elise promises to protect him. Noble, right? Days later, she hears a scratching under her bed, her dog is growling, and there are mysterious footprints on her carpet, but she's on the 2nd floor, and the footprints go out the window. She takes the board back to the cemetery, tries to speak to it again, and it says, "I'm not Danny." And then it says, "You let me in." So what are we really doing with the Ouija boards? We're not just asking questions. We're making an invitation to something that we can't see. But you don't need to believe. That doesn't matter. Curiosity is just enough. The spirits don't need your permission. They just want your attention. And once you've given your permission, it doesn't matter what answers back. That's the danger. That's the truth. So if you ever ask, is anyone there, just remember, it might already be listening to you. The truth about the Ouija board is, it's not just a game. Not really. It's a ritual. Yes, they sell it in stores, buy the puzzles and the games, but it's more than just its plastic packaging and family-friendly font. It's something darker. It's not a parlor trick. It's a ritual that anyone can perform with no training, no warnings, no protection, and just your hands, curiosity, and the quiet, waiting darkness to invite something that you can't see. There are plenty of stories online of Zozo the demon, or levitating tables, or fogged up mirror with writing on it. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you choose to use an Ouija board, you're opening yourself up to something that could come through. Your curiosity is enough of an invitation, and that's the key, right? It doesn't have to be a ritual where you're summoning something dark. Something dark is already waiting for you. You just have to listen. Now, personally, me, I do not touch Ouija boards. A personal anecdote: when I was participating in a seance, they pulled out an Ouija board, and I'm uncomfortable with them, so I just stood by. And while they were playing with the Ouija board, I suddenly couldn't move with my body. I felt like I was going to be sick, and I felt ice cold, but I couldn't move. And from the corner of my eye, I could see in the corner a little girl, kind of Victorian-esque. I know that sounds very cliche, but that's what I saw in this house from the 1800s. And while they were doing that, while I could see the little girl, while I couldn't move, while I was feeling sick, voices in my head, not literal voices, but like feelings started coming over me, like, nobody likes you, stop talking, you're annoying. It just kept repeating and making me feel worse. Now, luckily I was able to snap myself out of it, and I left, having to sort of meditate after to bring myself out of it, but I will never touch an Ouija board. Which brings me to ask, are you playing with the Ouija boards out there? Have you had an encounter with an Ouija board? Please put in the comment section. Did something answer you? Did something follow you? I want to hear your story. So share it in the comments below, or simply visit spookyfriendsclub.com and send me a note there. You might just be featured in the next Spooky Friends Club meeting. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and make sure you ring the bell for notifications. We're summoning something new next. And if you hear a knock after this video, don't answer. Sleep tight, watch the mirror, and whatever you do, don't play alone.